We are now recording. Oh my God. when it finally comes together, it's so flipping amazing, isn't it? It's fantastic. So everybody, we have now a beautiful Fiona Robertson. So lovely having two Fionas, isn't it? We are quite
double trouble.
Double trouble, exactly. My God. So Fiona is, well, she is the body whisperer. I find what she does absolutely fascinating because it really gels with what I believe, I see, I know, I do myself. But Fiona goes into this into such a deeper way. So for any of you who have ever thought about having a diet or doing a diet, who hasn't, put my hands up. I never do diets now because that's just not my thing. Or losing weight, Fiona has got a completely different perspective, which is so amazing. Exactly. So come on now, Fiona, tell us, first of all, who you are, and yeah, we'll go to the next question after that.
Yeah. Who am I?
Who are you?
I know, God, who am I? I am a woman, like the rest of us, but I found that I have gone into being a body renewer and a body whisperer, which, for want of a better word, means that I can hear what's really going on in the body. I can really get to the nitty-gritty, the root cause, and find out why we sabotage ourselves, or why we've gained the weight, why we can't do anything about the weight, or why we've got sciatica, or you know, some of the things that I've had, like ovarian cysts or ringworm, even because somebody was under my skin. There's so many different reasons, and I just find it phenomenally interesting and so powerful to get behind what's really going on in the body, and I just can't stop it. I love it.
That sounds good to me. But how on earth, Fiona, did you start to really understand how to get into this? Because obviously, I mean, I'm taking that you started to explore how to lose weight or to go on a diet, or, you know, how many people haven't at some stage. So just tell us a little bit about how you got into it.
Let me put it this way. I moved to France in 2004, 6 months pregnant, didn't know anything about having babies, started to run detox retreats because I was hugely into detox, because that had helped me a lot. But I think what I realized as I was detoxing so many ladies, I was like, why doesn't it work for some of them? Why doesn't this always work? And why doesn't it always work for me? Why do I feel sometimes like I'm a fraud? Because, and then I understood that it was a lot to do with the energy of what was going on around me, the stress I was in, something like that was really having a huge effect on my belly. And basically, this is where we feel everything. We feel it from the solar plexus and in the belly, if you allow yourself to feel what's going on. Anyway, so I was asking these questions like, why doesn't it always work? You know, so like some people can come and they can lose 5 kilos in a week. You know, we can walk in the mountains, we can eat well, and we can talk to our heart's content, put the whole world to rights. But I used to always hear the underlying story as what was really going on. You know, that somebody had married somebody, and they, you know, like, we didn't really think about it. It was just kind of potluck, and then how things had gone from there, the stress that built up and the anger that had built up in a lot of other women, which is, you know, what's that saying I have? Like, it is the greatest undiagnosed epidemic in women, anger, because it just festers away. But we've all got this happy smile on our face, like, we're coping. And then I decided I needed to find out what was going on for me. And I was I am a Reiki master. I used to do Reiki on all the clients who came, and I used to sort of see things happen, and I thought, well, I'll just explore that a little bit more. And it's kind of gone into being a medical intuitive. Not that I've read any books up until more recently, to kind of like, well, how do they do it? And I was seeing energy, and I was feeling the energy of what someone else was feeling. And I'm like, right, I want to explore that. And once you understood the energy, where it sat, why it was there, what it had to say to you, what you had to learn from this symptom. And it was never just the symptom was there because you'd fallen over, or because, you know, whatever, or just because you'd eaten too much, but you'd eaten too much because, you know, but for decades. And I really hope that what I do helps people, because I want them to understand that nothing's a fluke. Nothing's just, oh, well, that's it then, that's my lot. No, it's not your lot. You can recreate yourself, and you know, there's a solution for it. We change our energy, we change our thoughts, we understand, oh, what's that got to do with? What was I thinking? What was I thinking for a hell of a long time that created that and didn't allow me to get rid of the sciatica? I went through a whole process, and this is what not a lot of people ever talk about. I went through the whole process rewriting that particular story that I believed and I was feeling created the sciatica for me, and it vanished in like 2 days. I'm like, after having it for 6 months, I've been to the osteopath, I've been to the kinesiologist, massage therapy, doctors, pills. I was like having to lift myself out of bed with my hair because my neck and my back and everything was just, I was just rolling over, you know, like you do when you're pregnant, you roll over out of bed, you get up very tentatively.
Yeah,
wow.
wow.
And this is what my body was showing me, and it disappeared, and I went, you checked it every day, like, oh, okay, can I do this? Yes. Can I do that? Yes. And then you forget about it, and then the story sort of creeps back in again. And for the story of sciatica, which was a huge learning curve for me, wow. I was on a walk with a friend of mine, and we were chuntering away, and she was a single mum and I was a single mum, and she was living in France, and she's like, why are you here? What got you to live here? And, you know, where's your partner? And why are you single? And I thought, well, I won't go into all of it, but I'll just skirt around the outsides. But anyway, we got, you know that, you know, humor that you get into and you think, oh yeah, then guess what? You know, so we got into that, and we were walking away, and she left for the afternoon, and I kind of went back to my office and did some work, and I was sitting around doing some work. I got up, and I was seized again. I was just like, oh, completely seized. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? No, not another 6 months of sciatica, or what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I've been panicking. And then I was like, hang on a second. Well, I cleared this up last time. It was about a year and a half ago. What was it? What did I do? So I thought, right, okay. And I asked my body at that time, because I'd got into, my body was actually able to kind of sway in a particular way. And at the moment, I can read it from the inside. It's yes and no. And I have conversations with my body. And I was like, is this because of the story that I just told? And I got shooting those hate arrows and those blame arrows and those victim arrows back at my ex-partner. My body just gave me such a loud, yes. Wow. And I went, I've got to spend the afternoon rewriting that story again until the relationship between myself and my ex, and I'm not throwing arrows out, until I can get into the place where he's okay. He's a cool guy. I don't need his money. I don't need anything from him, which is where I was at before. I was in such fear of low finances, raising 2 boys on my own. I was like sending these arrows of like, oh, you bastard. So that is part of what made me kind of go, oh my God, nothing's coincidental.
And it's so, you know, and this is exactly what I say to everybody, you know, your physical problems are just a manifestation of what goes on up here.
And they're a message from your body and from your soul saying,
absolutely. Yeah, wake up.
Yeah, like stop telling those stories which are really damaging you. I know that a lot of people identify with their stories. It's part of their personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I have a lady that I work with, and she has been telling this story for years, and it's been her story. And and I said, it's okay for you to tell the story if that's your business, if it you know links you to your business, but you need to be able to tell the story and not feel it, not have the tears, not have the
emotion,
emotion that runs through the body, because as you'll know, Fiona, the more time you think about something, the more energy that comes with it. And it changes us on a chemical and a molecular structure on the inside. It changes our hormones. It creates form. And that form, when you think about something long enough, creates a physical symptom.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, as I say, it is just a massive, it's like the universe is ringing this alarm bell saying, wake up and listen to what I'm telling you. Yeah. I mean, I just, you know, everything you do is just so, you know, what I do in a different way. I just don't do it around food as such, but it is just,
I just do it
so beautiful.
Everything so around beautiful. The body. And I also read people's cravings. So like, So what's the craving telling you? What is it?
What is it you need? Yeah, what is that comfort?
I call them missing nutrients a lot. What's missing? What haven't you done for yourself that you're doing for everyone else? I mean, there's that story of women at Christmas time, and or birthdays or whatever, but Christmas is a famous one. Like, they've done everything. They've prepared everything to perfection. They've run around, they've got the presents, they've listened to what people want, and then they look at their pile of presents and kind of go,
what about me?
Is that it? But on the outside, they're fine. On the outside, they've got this kind of...
Well, it's the mask, isn't it? It's, you know, the mask that we love to wear.
Yeah, and it's exhausting, and it festers away, and it comes out in physical symptoms. And for many women, because it's to do with protecting their energy, it comes through as weight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if it's not weight, it would be something else. You know, either maybe it's excessive exercise or something else.
Oh, absolutely.
We all have our...
I mean, I've met people along the way, and I'm thinking, why does she get that symptom where her story is quite similar to her? Yeah. But it was a hairdresser, and her wrist, every time I went to see her wrist was in a bandage, a sling, you know, and because of a thumb and repetitive strain injury. The way the body, the universe, the soul works is that it will get your attention however it works best for you. Yeah. So if it's your mobility, it'll be sciatica, or, you know, if it's your embarrassment or shame, it'll be weight. If it's the main function, if it's your voice, you know, then that's how it's going to manifest in you, to kind of, until you kind of say, what the hell's going on? There's got to be something else going on. Hallelujah. Put the flags out. Now you're listening. Now go and find somebody who can translate that for you, and let that go and find out what it is, so that you can stop doing what you've been doing
and change that whole scenario, because it is just
ever go back in the same way. You heard my story about sciatica. Like, as soon as I started using him as a dartboard, which felt pretty good at the time,
I think we've all done it.
Mine
used to be the punch bag. Get my boxing gloves on again.
Whatever it is. And an awful lot of women, it's to do with their exes, and an awful lot of women, it's to do with their relationships with their mother.
Yeah. Yes, the mother. Your volume's gone down again a bit.
Has it? Am I back?
Yes, you're back. That's better.
Maybe.
But Fiona, I find it absolutely fascinating, because I'm so with you, because this is what I've been doing for years, and even my flower essences, they are what work on our emotional states of mind. If we just keep ignoring what goes on up here, we just are going to repeat or have that repetitive pattern in our physical body in whatever form. And if it's not one thing, it's giving you the massive alarm bell, it's going to go into another area and say, hello, I'm now here. Listen to me now.
Unfortunately, you and I both know, and it sounds a bit sinister, and it sounds a bit grim, and it sounds a bit, you know that cancers come from things that are eating away at you. And if it starts with weight, or it starts with a symptom, it starts with a little poke, a little nudge, you know, and eventually it'll come on to, I mean, I've had lots of clients who've had breast cancer, usually to do with the left. And they come to me after, because they want to detox all the chemicals that have been through their body. But then when you get down to hearing their story, they've not really linked it together. But when you hear the story, it's to do with, it's a left side, it's to do with, lost love, and, the resentment and all that kind of stuff that they hold on the emotional side of their body, on the female side of their body. And it's just like, it doesn't have to be that way. If we could just take a decision and kind of go, I don't want to think like that anymore. And you and I both know that we've still got things that are coming in that we still clear. It's not done and dusted. I mean, I got something in the summer, I ripped my calf muscle. And I'm like, and I was playing on the beach. And I'm like, I ripped my calf muscle. My partner's saying, you need to go to the hospital, you need to get this sorted. I'm like, no, I'll sort it out. Hobble, 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 hobble for about a whole week. And then I'm like, oh, I've just heard something. I heard it through a song, or I heard it through a conversation, or I heard it through a thought, or woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, I'm still very much on doing things in the traditional way. I'm still trying to work very hard, put things forward, prove my point.
Yeah.
My body was saying to me on the left-hand side of my body, like, this is a real powerful part of your calf. Is a very powerful part of your body. lean on us, use us. There's other ways to do things. You don't have to try and be do everything all on your own. There are other ways of doing things. You've got two sides of everything. And that was a message that came through for me and much to my boyfriend's annoyance, I sorted that out in a day. As soon as I got it and I went, okay, right, fine, I'll deal with that. I'll sort this out, change the story again. And it disappeared. Whereas he's still hobbling after 5 months of having an operation on his knee. Don't we do what we do, we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. But Fiona, so I mean, I we could talk for ages because we've got such similar ways of working and understanding the body and listening to the body and going into it. And as I said the other day, in fact, when I trained as a kinesiologist back in '91, I didn't really have that same understanding, and I understand that now, even though I understood the meridians, what points to energize or de-energize, and lymphatics and all these things that we did, and the tapping I did then. I was doing tapping actually back in '91, but I didn't have the same understanding of the mind body soul connection that I have right now. And this is what has transformed my life. And I know, and I can see how much it's transformed your life. And this is where I want to go and just share with as many people as possible that we are our own healers. We have everything we need within us. Our body was constructed from the tiniest little atom and cell to heal itself. It is a self-healing machine.
I remember when I learned Reiki, and it's exactly what you say there. It's like, you have the power within you. You are your own healer. And I never got it at the time. I never used to feel anything, but I get rashes on my body after having sessions and stuff like that. And I felt in another session that I had with a lady, I was like, wow, what's going on there?
Yeah.
She'd been shot in a previous life. I began to feel all those kind of things, and weird things happened in Reiki sessions. But again, Reiki was very much the point that I needed to go through as a stepping stone for phenomenal training to understand really the bigger picture. Everything lives and breathes. Everything has a history, cellular memory, emotions of the cells, that stuff, past life stuff, the spirit that lived within us, the spirits that I saw come out of people's bodies, set them free for a while. And then the communication I could have with that spirit to kind of like find out what she wanted her host,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it just keeps coming clearer and clearer and clearer about, your mind and your spirit is connected all through the body. It's like, it's the link, it's the link between the two. It is the communicator between the two. And the body, the mind needs to be able to understand and translate what's going on through the body from the spirit.
So if you could give, say, even one or maybe 3 tips to somebody who's watching now, one of the girls in the group who's watching now, so that they can actually start, because I love having information, but for me, I love to have the skills and the techniques, as you well know, to actually start to do something for myself. What would you recommend that somebody would be like, because I know this brings up a lot of resistance in people, because people do not want to connect my weight to an issue, another problem, or I'm responsible for my health.
I know.
So if you could give somebody some of your wisdom that they can start putting into action right now, what would you actually leave them with?
It's a big. The first thing I always ask ladies to do when we start working together is find a safe place. Create a safe place and get to know their bodies, but they have to create a safe place first, because most of us are so alert and vigilant the whole time. We don't even know what's going on in our body. And I understand that from here down, don't want to be connected. I just want to be thinking. But if you can slow yourself down, I mean, if you're eating, for example, just start there. Promise yourself that you'll take half an hour or more to finish what you're eating, and really This is basic stuff, and it's such a wonderful, simple step to take. Acknowledge the food you're eating. If you don't get to bless your food, don't worry. Just slow down and like say, I will sit here with a timer for half an hour and I will eat this food. And I bet you after a little while, you kind of go, I don't really like it.
Don't really want it.
Didn't really want it. But if that's one thing you can do, that would be the first thing, obviously, to slow down. And most people who are kind of like eating on the go and those kind of things, they're kind of going, I don't actually really like that. Okay, you're beginning to be aware. My whole purpose for being here is to help you be aware of what's going on in your body. Yes, I can feel when I walk into a room that the atmosphere is off. So can you, but you don't necessarily know who it's coming from. This is just be aware of your body. Be aware of when you're hungry. I used to hate it when people used to say to me, well, only eat when you're hungry. You think, oh God, how do I know that? Because it's such a habit. We eat breakfast, we eat lunch, and we eat dinner. So that would be my first step on this fantastic journey, is just slow down. Again, I used to...
So relevant in our life. Yeah. So relevant.
So relevant. I mean, the world is spinning faster and faster and faster, and so is everything. You know yourself, you can say, oh my God, where did this year go? Where did last year go? Oh my God, is it Christmas already? It just goes super fast, and it is us who are in control, who can actually slow those things down.
Absolutely.
The second thing I would say takes a little bit of slowing down again, but be aware of what you're saying to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favourite ones, oh, for God's sake, Fiona, you are stupid, you just dropped that. Yeah. Or, come on, Fiona, wake up. Or, but those are nice things. No one is crueler and more toxic to you than
absolutely
you are.
Yeah. And we wouldn't speak to other people the way we speak to ourselves so often.
Oh my God.
Unless you're a complete... You would not.
I need to look for this. Apparently there's a YouTube thing of somebody who filmed that, people having inner conversations but saying things outwardly.
God, I bet that's awful.
Sorry, I just snorted, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And I just like, oh my God, I think that would be hilarious. But it's so true.
Yeah.
No one is more poisonous to yourself than you are. And then when you realize that those thoughts carry energy, then you'll see what you're potentially doing to yourself.
Yeah.
And it'll take a little time for you to kind of turn those around, because you release neurotransmitters, you release hormones, you release chemicals in your body with the thoughts that you have, and you get addicted to those. Remember me saying that I was throwing darts and it felt really quite good. The same as overeating felt really quite good.
But it's not, it's a short term.
Yeah, but you get addicted to that feeling because you're always in that kind of, that energy vibration. To bring yourself out of that, to feel more radiant, to feel more positive, to feel happy, to just feel content, to just feel, yeah, well, that's better. To get addicted to that is a practice. You've been doing this for 40, 50 years, putting yourself down and let other people put yourself down. If you could just be aware of the neurotransmitters that you could be setting off. When did you last have fun? When did you last do something amazing? How did it feel in the body? Those neurotransmitters will release, I can't remember the name, serotonin, dopamine, prolactin, oxytocin, which have a complete reverse effect on the body. And they're like little miracle workers. They really do have an opposite. You don't need to diet or anything else. Sometimes when somebody has enough of that, that's enough to sort of propel them forwards. When you go on holiday, you feel so blooming good, but you eat more, but you lose weight. What's that all about?
Yeah, exactly.
There's, all those kind of things. When somebody's madly in love, oxytocin rushing around their body all the time, they look radiant, they look fantastic. So I would just say be aware of the things you're saying to yourself.
Yeah. And one final thing, because I have to do things in threes.
All right, okay, me too. I love threes.
It can be a quick one. Doesn't have
All
to
right,
be
a quick one. This is really kind of out there, so I hope you let me do this, but you will really, really get this. Your soul is calling for you to hear her, and she's giving you physical symptoms. This is what we're talking about. She's kind of giving you little nudges every now and again. I do this with my ladies, and I say, imagine that your soul, who you've ignored, who you've kicked and beaten and not fed and starved and then stuffed and then starved and then stuffed and locked in a cupboard and ignored, is like a rescue dog. Imagine the worst kind of vision you've ever seen of this dog that's kicked, battered, bruised, not groomed, fleas, and you put in the bottom of a cupboard on a blanket, and she's curling up, but she's got beautiful love in her eyes. She still loves you.
Yeah.
That is your soul when you ignore her.
Yeah.
But you know, because you've all seen that, those dogs recover, and they are beautiful. They're running, they're playing, they're having fun. This is the journey for you to remember who you are.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just love it because, you know, we are so much in sync in what we believe and what we've experienced. And like you, Fiona, this is not something, you know, as I said, training as a kinesiologist back at 91, my journey to where I am now is an accumulation of all these things. And it's the experiences that have brought us to this place of where we have this just inner wisdom and inner knowing that all these tools and techniques that I absolutely adore and I love and I use all the time, I feel in a different way. And I see them in a different way, and I use them in a different way because
they're all integrated, aren't they?
Yeah, because it's really coming from my heart. It's not coming from my headspace. You know, before it used to be, right, I've got to say this. This is a statement, you know, when you're tapping, oh, even though, I don't do that now because I realize it's all inside here. And the stuff that comes out, I don't even know where it comes from half the time. It just comes out.
I've got no idea. It goes, I'm in left field. I'm like, oh, I've got to say that to this person, really?
Yeah.
Yes. And it just keeps jabbing at me until I actually say it.
Exactly. And that's what's so beautiful. And I absolutely love what you're doing because I don't believe in diets. You know, if I put weight on, and let's face it, we all do, especially as we're getting a bit older, then for me, it's like, okay, what's going on? But I get out on my bike.
Yeah, but however, we do all need a bit of a kickstart. So,
we do.
And one of the ones I do is the 7 pounds in 7 days, which is massively a kickstart, and women get massive results from that. Basically, you're coming off sugar, darling.
I know. And the thing is, Fiona, you know what? I've been very aware of food. And yeah, my fix is a bit of the green and black's ginger chocolate. Oh, that is my fix. But I don't have sugar necessarily. I'm not a cake person. I'm not a biscuit person. I'm very aware, and I always have been. I was totally anal when my boys were babies. I used to go around Sainsbury's, and before I didn't need glasses, thank God, I used to check everything that I bought. If it had sugar in it, if it had salt in it, if it had any kind of, right, well, I'm not buying that. I was so anal with their food. It was unreal.
It's unbelievable as well when you see somebody change when they don't eat processed food, when they don't eat kind of food.
You see it in their eyes.
Yeah, but the personality changes. I mean, I've had everything like, and all of a sudden you're just calmer, and things work out better, and you're more able to listen. You sleep better. I mean, my God, if I would say that would be another epidemic of women, it's just we just don't sleep.
Absolutely, totally.
And we're exhausted.
God, we'll have to do another one on sleep because I've got. We could go on forever. Anyway. Oh my goodness, I can't thank you enough. And if the girls have any questions, please put them in the group because you know, these talks and everything that we're going to do, they're all for your benefit, and we want to get you and so that you understand you more and more from every aspect. So Fiona, I will get your link so people can connect with you. They can come into your group, they come and talk to you, and you know, just start this journey or continue the journey wherever they are, and just explore it, because it really is awareness.
If I have one last thing to say for you and for every woman out there, if we could just be experience what it feels like to be 100% alive in our bodies again, like we were when we were girls. You know, we just got too serious and too
weighed down with responsibility.
Yeah, life is heavy, and we just need to be able to sort of look at it in a different way so that it's not so heavy.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Fiona. I always enjoy our little kind of.
I know.
We go deep and wild.
And I love it. So thank you, and we will definitely be speaking again soon. So I really appreciate you taking your time out. And
please ask me any questions, anything that's kind of, there's no question off the wall too far
or too silly,
or craving, or what your body's doing.
Beautiful. Thank you, my lovely.
My pleasure.
I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.